All right, here we go. Hi, everybody. My name is Jacob, and I am back. Well, sort of differently. I'm doing things a bit different with making a video from how I've done it before. And this first video that I'm putting out is more of an experiment, a trial, getting used to my new setup, recording tools, video editing tools, just sort of a proof of concept to start get the wheels rolling on future projects. So if this audio is a little bit rough around the edges, I'm kind of just taking a first quick pass at it. I'm not going to do 50 recording attempts as I am nervous and wading back into the water. But so for anybody that's new here or I'm not really sure what here means in terms of my YouTube channel, but anyway, how I used to make videos was just a fun hobby. I primarily recorded for myself to have to reminisce, to rewatch in the future, or so my friends could keep up with me from far away. And then I also made it to connect with people. And this was 10-ish years ago, 9 years ago. And since that time, the landscape of making videos has really changed. The streaming culture, the people that do this type of thing. I'm not really a streamer, and I think that's kind of where I fell off of it a little bit. I wasn't super interested in it once that became a thing. I still enjoyed doing it for the memories, and I still actually really love my montages just as keepsakes of moments in gaming. Um, but it just didn't appeal to me as much anymore. And also, it kind of got in the way of me just getting through games. So that's partially why I moved on. So if I'm back here for different reasons, what are those reasons? And it really comes down to one thing for me, one word, really, and that's art. Um, and some of you are probably looking at the timeline and saying, well, if it's one word, why are you taking so long to explain it? Well, because that's why I'm here making videos as well. But we'll get there. Art to me is fueled by sort of three pillars, I guess you could say. The first is a desire to create. I think that everything that a person is and what they are, what they're about, all of that comes down to what's in their head to some extent. Like your reality is what's in your head and how you think about and view and engage with the world. But if you live your whole life and you don't sort of put something back out into the world, then all of that reality ceases to exist when you go. Um, and I think it's important for everybody in some capacity to want to get that uniqueness that is their person out into the world. Um, I like me, so I want to put something out into the world. I think the second point for me is I'm not a big fan of AI. I think that's a pretty common opinion here on YouTube. I'm a software engineer, so I'm constantly swarmed by it at work and having to deal with it. I constantly see that creatives are being plagued by it the worst with video generation, audio, music generation, and photos. And I've been close to an artist for a lot of my life, and I don't like seeing that kind of work be taken over. And then I saw a video, and if I can find it, I'll link it below. And this video mentioned that the best way to rebel against this is to just make something. Go make anything. Let that be your act of rebellion. Keep creating. Keep learning skills. Don't let the people making these AI models take away your ability to take things in and put things out as well. And then my final pillar of fueling art is just kind of like my understanding of art as a whole has changed. I'm not really an expert. I've never really given much thought to art beyond, it's cool. It's something that you look at and maybe you really find things you like, maybe you don't, maybe you feel something about it, maybe you don't. That sentiment is maybe largely still true as a simple definition for me, but my feeling about art is kind of actively evolving for me right now and might change tomorrow. I went to some conventions last year and I was looking for a souvenir to remember them by. And I ended up buying a bunch of art and talking to the various artists there. I just hated, I wanted them to feel supported, rather, focus on the love aspect of it. And this goes back to AI somewhat, but the more I thought about what art is, the more I kind of came up with a definition of what it means to me. It feels like the idea of conveying emotions. And I feel like that's something that we really struggle with a lot as a society or with language as a whole. That communicating emotions is something that is actually really difficult to do. Maybe an artist has something that they want to say, or maybe they don't. Maybe the recipient is able to then connect with what the artist is trying to say, or maybe the recipient, with where they're at in life, uh, takes something different away from someone else who might look at a piece of art, and that's inspired and reflecting what goes on in the recipient. Um, it's not really a clean explanation. It's not necessarily logical, and that's sort of the point. Art, to me, has sort of taken on a more Eastern perspective, emphasizing relation over clarity and distinction, less logical, more connecting souls. And that's why I think inherently a lot of us tend to reel against AI, because you're inherently attacking the ability for people to connect by shortcutting and shortchanging those interactions. Um, and I think you can maybe see, if you think about this, how this circles back to creating, putting your soul out there, and hating AI. All these pillars blend together. So, what's up with all the Xenoblade? Um, and that is a dangerous question, my friend. Uh, to be brief, I adore Xenoblade. I didn't think I would ever find another game franchise again in my recent adult years that I enjoyed and that spoke to me as much as games did when I was young. Um, and then, so what do I hope to do with Xenoblade? Well, here we come back to, I'm back at YouTube, and I've been talking about art. So my art that I want to give to the world is just speaking to me, speaking to my emotions. I don't have a lot of like particularly artistic talents. I'm not great at drawing. I do like acting and theater, and that's something I'm exploring, but I'm not particularly good at it. But basically, I'm really good at writing. I'm really good at long form text, which, given how I'm speaking through this, maybe you can pick up on. So, and reading an essay on its own isn't particularly interesting, but I also like analyzing things. So you put this all together, and I want to do video essays. I want to do analyses. I want to share things that have spoken to me, because that is art. Um, and so I really only intend to do this with things that particularly passionately strike me, things that I have just such strong emotions about that I can just sit and talk about and steal someone's ear for hours. And my videos probably won't be hours, but maybe I will be. Maybe I'll be that YouTuber with the 7 hour long Star Wars analysis where you could have just watched 3 of the movies, but that's okay. I like those videos while I'm eating and working out. But anyway, I won't spoil anything, at least not now, because once I start talking about the video, it'll be all spoilers. But Xenoblade 2 did this for me in a very profound way. So that's your cue to go like play Xenoblade. It's going to be quite a while before this video is done and edited and made and all of that stuff. I haven't even started the script for it yet, although I have lots of ideas in my head. So go play Xenoblade 2. And to be honest, like, why I'm digging into this is it's just something I need in life right now. It's a good passion outlet. And the theme that I want to talk about in my Xenoblade 2 video is very relevant for me working through some challenges in life right now. But I am trying out a lot of passions. I'm just generally in a phase of life where I'm getting back to myself a little bit more, being a more real, authentic me rather than someone that's crushed by the weight of the world and just grinding out my job day after day. I want like life to be an adventure again, and this is something that I've been thinking about for some amount of time. That being said, I'll pick things up, I'll drop them. Maybe the next video I'm thinking of never gets completed. Maybe it takes me 5 years. And like, that's all right for me. It's very much about the journey and not so much about the destination as I go through this. It's just an experience, learn some skills along the way, have a good time, and maybe connect with people a little bit more. But for this, I do want to like hold my quality to a higher standard than I have in past videos. I want it to feel like a video quality essay made by the best YouTubers. I'm not re-recording that one. So I'm going to be slow at it as I make it. If some of these clips, or if some of this audio, you don't recognize them as clips, sound a little disjoint or not quite flowing as I go in and out of them, I'm still kind of getting used to this whole setup. I tried one-shotting some of this recording, and it did not save it, and I don't know why. I actually just have no idea why. So I'm getting used to the flow. Bear with me. But finally, I might make another, for the Xenoblade 2 analysis video that I want to make. I might actually make another preceding video explaining my journey with Xenoblade, like how I've played the games and how I got into it, because I like telling the story, and I feel like I am a type of person that likes the context for someone's enjoyment as they dive into things, but I think it's long enough that it could be its own video. We'll see what I feel like as I get started. But let's wrap some of this up. I'm considering making a new channel. I like my old stuff, but it is old. I don't really want to remove my old videos, and I'm proud of the person I was at the time that I made all of those. But they also might be kind of weird lingering around if I were to make an analysis video that kind of pops off. But a new channel needs like a lot of new branding. I'm not quite sure. Like, would I stick with Jacoby? That's always been my online identity, but maybe part of the creative process and growing as a person involves defining a new identity. I still need thumbnails. Hit me up if you're good at making art without AI. Maybe I'll just make that part of my creative process and learn yet another skill, which will delay the video by another number of years. Some people like Concerned Ape can make a video game, and I'm struggling over here to make one YouTube video, but hey, to each our own. So let's wrap this up here. I want to do a couple credits. I probably won't always do this by voice, but this one's pretty important to me. First, maybe you stuck around just because the audio here is so good, and I don't mean my voice, although that is excellent. I'm talking about the lo-fi Xenoblade music you're hearing. I don't ever want the work that I do to get DMCA'd by Nintendo, because Nintendo gonna be Nintendo. So that music is actually created by a YouTuber that goes by Yoshi_UMR. I'll link the channel either at the end or down in the description, or both. But thank you, Yoshi, for giving me your permission to use your music in my videos. Another shout out to my biggest fan, Ellie. She is responsible for making the opening for me. It took her a lot of time. Shout out to Derek. He led me to OBS and DaVinci Resolve. My brother for helping me set up my graphics card or getting the drivers updated. And then all my friends are providing me a lot of support right now in my current phase of life. So I just want to appreciate all of them. But otherwise, everything else you see, I'm planning to do myself. Gameplay capture, editing, everything. So that's where you're going to get the real human content from. And that's all I've got. Thanks for checking this out. If you listened to me talk for 13 minutes about nothing, you can only imagine how long an actual analysis of Xenoblade 2 is going to take. We'll see if we ever get there. And have a good one. Take care.